June 2026, Eugene, Oregon. Jaiden Reid crosses the finish line in the 200 meters at the NCD Championships, and the clock reads something nobody saw coming. 6 months ago, every major college program in America said no to this kid. Today, he just became the fastest man in collegiate history. If you think that time is the end of this story, you're wrong. Hit subscribe right now, because what happens next, when the professional world finally wakes up to who Jaiden Reid actually is, will change American sprinting forever. The time is 1998 seconds. That is the NCAA Division I record for the 200 meters. That is also tied for the fourth fastest time ever run by an American college sprinter. Period. Jaiden Reid. A junior from a program nobody names when they talk about American sprinting, just ran it in the biggest moment of his life at Hayward Field in front of a crowd that came to watch the elite. And he became the elite. 6 months earlier, in December 2025, Reid was a regional prospect. Not unknown, he had won meets, set times that got noticed by the right people, but he was not on the radar of the major programs. The blue bloods of college track, the powerhouses like Florida, Texas A&M, and LSU, they all looked at his file and passed. A faster option was coming. A more polished recruit was committed. Jaiden Reid was good, but not good enough for the national conversation. That is what they decided. So Reid stayed where he was, training under Coach Marcus Webb at his mid-major program, a coach with a philosophy built on specificity and volume. The kind of coach who does not have 10 athletes trying to break national records. He has one or two he believes in completely. Webb believed in Reid. More importantly, Webb knew something the bigger programs did not see. This kid's ceiling was much higher than his current times suggested. Reid's background is the South. His hometown is Jacksonville, Florida, a city that produces swimmers and football players, not world-class sprinters. He ran in high school, qualified for state, but was not the kid coaches fought over. No scholarship offers from Florida or Florida State. No shoe company suddenly offering gear deals. He was fast, but he was local fast, regional fast, the kind of prospect that gets a partial scholarship at a mid-major and a polite rejection letter from everywhere else. Then 2025 happened. In February, Reid ran 6:52 seconds in the indoor 60 meters. The national record at the time was 6:41. He was not close, not yet. But something in his mechanics, something in his speed endurance, told Webb this was not a plateau. This was a beginning. By May, Reid was running 10.03 in the 100 meters outdoors. Still not at the national record of 9.78. Still not world class by international standards. But the margin was shrinking. The trajectory was clear. Jaiden Reid was about to explode. Webb knew something the other coaches had missed. Reid's body was built for the 200 meters, not the 100. His stride length, his ability to maintain velocity in the second half of a sprint, his composure under fatigue, these were 200-meter gifts. Webb changed the focus. He had Reid run more long runs, more specific tempo work at 200-meter pace, more drills designed to build the kind of strength that wins in the curve and the final straight. It was not rocket science, but it was exactly what Reid needed. The breakthrough came on May 18, 2025, at the Gulf Coast Invitational In Pensacola, Florida, Reid ran 1994 seconds in the 200 meters. The national collegiate record at that moment was 19.77, set in 1992. Reid was still not there, but he had just run faster than he had ever run in his life. And he did it in May, with 3 months left in the season. The track world did not yet know his name, but Webb did, and Webb knew what was coming. June rolled around. Indoor regionals. Reid won his heat and qualified for the national championships. The summer heat in the South became Reid's training ground. He worked in 90-degree weather, Webb pushing him harder, the margin to the record shrinking with every workout. By late May 2026, as Reid prepared for Eugene, the question was no longer whether he could break the national record. The question was how much faster he could go. The NCAA National Championships came to Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon on June 7, 2026. Jaiden Reid was 20 years old. He had been running track seriously for less than 4 years, and he was about to run the fastest 200 meters in collegiate history. The 200-meter final was scheduled for the evening. Reid drew lane 5. Around him were sprinters from every major program in America, athletes who had been on scholarship since high school, who trained at state-of-the-art facilities, who had shoe contracts and coaching staffs. Reid was the kid from a program nobody recruited for, the one whose coach believed in him when nobody else did. The gun fired at 7:43 p.m. Pacific Time. Reid came out of the blocks clean. At the 100-meter mark, he was in second place, trailing slightly, but running efficiently, his form textbook. Shoulders relaxed, knees driving, no wasted motion. The back straightaway is where the 200 is won or lost. This is where Reid separated himself from the field. His stride lengthened. His cadence stayed perfect. The other runners began to fade. By the final 50 meters, it was no longer a race. Reid crossed in 19.74 seconds. The clock stopped. The stadium went silent for a moment. The kind of silence that comes when something impossible just became real. The collegiate record, set 34 years earlier in 1992, was broken by 0.03 of a second. Reid had just become the fastest college 200-meter runner in American history. He was 20 years old. He had nobody watching but a small group of people who believed in him. And now the entire track world was watching. Within hours, the calls started coming. Nike, Adidas, Puma. All three wanted to know who this kid was and whether he was actually serious about the sport. Agents from Los Angeles and New York left voicemails. The University of Florida called. So did USC. Programs that had passed on him in high school suddenly saw something they had missed. But Reid's focus was different now. He was not thinking about shoe deals or transfers. He was thinking about one number, 19.49 seconds. That was the American record, set by Michael Johnson in 1996. 30 years old, still standing, still untouched. Reid knew what his coach, Michael Strahan, at the University of Arkansas, had been saying all along. The records were just stepping stones. The real work was ahead. Olympics in 2028, World Championships in 2027, a chance to run against the fastest 200-meter runners on the planet, not just the fastest in college. The question now was not whether Reid belonged at the highest level. He had answered that question in Eugene. The question was how far he could actually go. A kid from a small town in the South who nobody recruited, who nobody believed in, who had just proven that every major program in America had made the same mistake. And he was just getting